Hey there, it's Gabrielle Nicolay from SpeechKids, and I wanted to show you how to pronounce letter sounds instead of letter names. And why do we want to do that? Well, because knowing the sound that a letter makes is a lot more useful when you go to read. And so it matters very little, for example, if the letter H, if you know that the letter H is called the letter H, if you don't know that it says as in head. So I'm just going to go through them, and you're going to notice that there are some sounds that have voice, where my voice is turned on and the sounds make a sound of their own. And then you're going to also notice that there are some sounds that are said without voice, and that might throw you a little bit. So just pay attention to those, and I'll highlight them a little bit. So vowels are easy. Vowels are always with voice turned on. So A says ah, right? Sometimes it says ah, so that gets a little confusing. Start with ah. A says ah. B says b. C, interestingly, says k. Isn't that wild? Yeah. Okay. So k is C. D says d. E says eh. Careful with that one too. Sometimes it says e, but mostly it says eh, particularly at the beginning of words. F says f. That's another quiet one. G says g. H says I, careful with this one too, says I. Sometimes it says I. Again, if you're just starting off, if you've got a little, you're going to start with I, like igloo. H-I-J, J. J says J. K says, this is another one, K. L says O. M says M. Then we have N. O says Ah, as in octopus. It gets a little wonky. Octopus, L-M-N-O. P. P says P. That's another quiet one. Q says qua, as in queen. That's another complicated one. Because of the U, it sort of makes a noise, and you don't have to be too fussed about it anyway, because Q is a really rare letter sound, particularly in the beginning of words. What do we got? Q, R. R says That's a tough one too. S for S. T says T, not T. That's another one you got to be careful with. T says T. U says ah. V says V. W says W. X is a throwaway letter. X, right? X says X. Y says Y, as in yellow. X, Y, Z. Z says Z. So there you have it. Things you never thought about before. Take care. Bye-bye.